Hey there, and welcome to my channel. I am your host, Dancing Johari. And well, today, as you can see, we're going to start off with two dolls. I actually started this project back almost right after Lady D. I took a little break, but well, you know, life happens. Plus, I've been in beauty school, and well, life got really busy. So I am so sorry I've been away for so long, but I'm back. Anyway, so we're doing Wednesday&Enid. So we're going to start off with unboxing, and the accessories for this, I have to say, top notch. There's so many little details on the handbag that my camera just refused to show. I'm sorry. Every time you see a close up of it, it's going to be a little blurry. But, oh well. But the shoes have like a scorpion and a cello for Wednesday, and then it's like a unicorn and a teddy bear for Enid. Each bag has its own detail. It's like Wednesday's is more like leather and has skeletts. Enid's looks like it's fluffy and puffy and just fun. As you can see, their nails are very different. And here's the shoes I was talking about. But let's put all of that away. And well, thing is going to get a touch up too. Why? Because if I'm touching up a doll or if I'm redoing a face, yeah. We gotta do thing too. He deserves it. Sorry, I've got a cat on my shoulder. Anyway, so after stripping them down to their bare essentials, it's time for prep. If you're a longtime viewer of my channel, you'll know what this means. First, they use saran for the dolls, and saran is okay, but it melts very easily. So let's replace that with nylon. So for Enid, we're going to do some different colors. We're going to do pink and blue, and I added in lavender smoke as well as the blonde, and then ink black for Wednesday. All of that is from Doll Planet, by the way. So when we remove the hair, lately I've had better luck if I just buzz it. It gets it so much shorter, so much faster, and it's so much less work for me. And since I've got carpal tunnel in both wrists, don't worry, it's mild. It's just better to wear and tear wise, just to be safe and just go military style, I guess. Once we do all that, we're going to take off their faces with pure acetone. Oop, almost got two eyes. I'm here if you're really good, you can take off a full eye in one swoop, but I have yet to see it. I have yet to do it, and well, it's kind of fun to try. After I'm done with the big portions, I just go in with my Q-tips and clean it all up. And for a minute there, that looked really bad. So we're just going to go in a little bit more with a better Q-tip, with another clean Q-tip. And once Wednesday's done, repeat on Enid. Do I expect anybody else to do two dolls at once? No. The reason I'm doing two dolls at once in this video is I don't have to worry about the clothes. I don't have to worry about sewing them. The clothes are fine. The clothes are awesome. I'm really impressed with Mattel for these ones. But this is a present for my cousin. Shout out to my cuz out in Washington. Hey cuz. But we're going to give it my own bit because she found out I had found these dolls. She got really excited, and so I told her I would customize a pair for her for Christmas. And of course, now it's very past Christmas. Once all the factory paint is gone, I just use some boiling water to pop off their heads. It takes a couple minutes. You just soak them for 2 or 3 minutes, then you pull them out. Use a very nice thick dish towel, and off they come. Is it still a little bit of a battle? Yes. At least it no longer hurts my elbow to do so. My elbow seems to be fine these days. Now we're going to flip and start removing their hair. Now, instead of using glue, Mattel has switched to melting the ends of the hair inside the doll. How they're doing this, I have no idea. All I could say is they must use a hot tool or something, because anything else I could just imagine would be a disaster. And well, I've also found that using Doll Planet's rerooting kit and using their hemostats that they include in this just pulls out the hair so much easier. It gets the plugs to pull out as long as they're really short, and they come out so much easier with the hemostat. If you can get a pair, go for it. If you can get the rerooting kit, go for it. So now this is what we're left with. So let's reroot Enid because she's a little bit more complicated. Wednesday is just plug black until you're done. Enid, more complicated. So we're going to start off with blue towards the back of the head. And in this case, it's a metallic blue. I really like this one. It's really pretty. And for the sides, we're going to use pink. And this is just for like the first row or so. At least for the blue. I think the pink I went a little higher, but not by much. Okay. So now that I've got the blue done, let's put in the pink. Yay! And now that the pink is done, it's time to do the blonde. And with the blonde, I'm alternating blonde and lavender smoke to give it highlights and give her a cool tone. And honestly, it just looks really cool. It's like a little bit more rainbowy now. Once her hairline's all filled in, mask everything off. And, well, I don't mean mask everything off. Separate everything off so you don't lose track of the part. And of course, make sure you glue it in. I think in this case, I glued first. And at this point, with this bottle of Galaxy glue, things are drying out because I'm not using it all the time. So I may have to get myself a new bottle soon. Things are just not coming out through the nozzle anymore. Okay, that's Enid done because she sat for 24 hours after the glue. Now we're going to do Wednesday. And don't worry, this one's going to go fast for you guys. For me, not so much. There she is, all done. We've got her part done, we've got her bangs done, and the bangs have their own part. And since the nozzle wasn't working, I just tried pouring glue, and I think I put in a little bit much. But I switched it all around, made sure all the plugs were hit, because there was a lot of hair in this. And then once she was dry for 24 hours, and as you can see, I had already pulled the parts and the bangs out to their respective areas so I don't lose them. I put the head back on. I did go ahead and paint thing, and I forgot to record it. And of course, my camera hates being this close. I'm sorry. So we're going to have to skip to the face up. And to tell the truth, I don't think thing made it into the final photos. I am so sorry, people. I will try to get a better shot with my camera before I send him off along with Wednesday and Enid to my cousin. So we start off with blushing because now everything is masked off with a spare bit of cloth. In this case, I'm using cotton. Usually I use performance fabric because it stretches a little bit more, but I didn't have quite as much hair to deal, as long a hair to deal with this time, at least for Wednesday, because I was using what I had left over from Lady D. Once I have everything blushed, including the body, I went ahead and started in with sketching in her eyes and her details. In this case, I'm using very light colors at first, just because I want to just kind of sketch it out and just kind of get things established as to where I want them to be. Now during all this, I was going to beauty school and at night, which meant a lot of exhaustion most days. So there were days that I could work on it. There was days I just couldn't, which is part of the reason why this video took so long. Believe it or not, being in your 40s or very late 40s and heading to school at night and then getting up extra early for the kids in the morning, and John being my husband, it's exhausting. And yeah, people are like, well, you can sleep during the day, right? No, there's other things that need to be done. Yeah, I can take a nap if I really need it, and there's times I did. Am I done with beauty school? No, not yet. I am on a brief leave because I have an injury, and I will get to that later. Okay, I guess I did the body blushing after I was done sketching in details, but before I went to go hit it with Mr. Super Clear. Sorry, I thought I had done the blushing first. Oops. But I have learned a lot from beauty school, and if you ever find yourself wanting to learn something new, I highly recommend it. Sorry for the leap in progress. I apparently had done her lips and forgot to turn the camera on. Oops. So I went ahead and continued working on her lips because I'm not quite satisfied with them. It's not the right shade yet. I'll get it there though. But I went ahead and continued with going for working on the eyes, which takes up the majority of my time on a face-up, I think, because the eyes are the windows into the soul, and out of all of the face-up, they include the most detail. They include little wrinkles around the eyes. They include an eye waterline. They include whites and sclera and iris and pupil, and of course, any eyeshadow or shading you want to do above the eye. All of that on doll scale is so tiny, and then you have to kind of work to bring all of that out so people can see it. And depending on the color of the eye, you're going to see more or less detail in the iris, I think. Let's face it, some people have eyes so dark, they look almost black. And, well, at this point, I didn't realize it, but that was what Wednesday's eyes are. They are so dark, they look black. Well, that would make sense, right? She's supposed to be allergic to color. So I don't think she would have a brown eye. She would probably have a black eye. Literally, a black iris rather than brown. Once I was confident enough, I went ahead and went in with the darker colors for the eyeliner. And anytime you get to a point where color just is not building, it's time to go hit it with more Mr. Super Clear. If you're ever curious as to what I use, I'm going to list it all in the description box below. Why? Because if you want to make something, I encourage you to do it. Yes, you may think, oh, I'd suck at it. Well, guess what? I used to suck at it too. My first couple of attempts with dolls didn't look so hot. But as I just kept trying. So anyway, back to the doll. We're just, as I said, just keep working on, I just kept working on the details. Here it is pretty much in real time rather than sped up. As you can see, I'm much slower than what I usually show in my videos, because with videos you can speed the footage up so it doesn't take up as much time. Otherwise, this would be a 3, 4, 5 hour long video. I literally shot 5 hours of footage just for this video. And yeah, it tells you how much more footage many more hours of footage I shoot for my other videos where I'm making clothes and stuff. Literally, I swear some of these videos are more than 10 hours worth of video. So, and well, I kept trying to darken up the lips with pastels, or not pastels, but oil-free makeup palettes and all of that, but I also added highlights with my pencils. And I'm really liking how she's coming out. And would I say she looks exactly like Jennifer Ortega? No. But did I come close? I think so. I think in the end she came out pretty close. Some angles I kind of see Catherine Zeta-Jones too. So I'm thinking I could even take a second Wednesday doll and make Morticia. I love Morticia. I like Wednesday though too. The series about Wednesday is actually pretty cool. I'm hoping they find a way to make Enid turn back into a human and not just be stuck in werewolf form. That would suck. Well, as you can see, I was looking at the photo a little bit closer and I was like, yeah, that's not brown, that's more black. So I started using black to color the irises with my pencils, but I think it was just not enough. So I went ahead and pulled out some black brown paint from Vallejo. and I painted it in. And I think the black brown looks better. It's not fully black, but it covered up the more red brown. And I did, of course, have to brighten up the whites of the eye. For this, I wasn't using gouache mostly. I was using acrylics. And, well, when you're doing this, you kind of have to be careful not to go into the iris, but luckily I had plenty of paint, and I just kind of worked it until I was happy. Ironically, I was happy with one eye than the other. I think that's always the way, though. And you can see I made a little oopsie there. It's okay, though. I fix it in the end. Just wait. I think what it was, I was just trying to match the eye shapes to each other just a little bit better. And I think I managed that. And yeah, I was pretty happy with it. And I went ahead and finally did her lips. And well, I think I got this closer to where I wanted it to be. I know with Wednesday, I know she's allergic to color, but at the same time, everybody has a little bit of red on their lips, even Wednesday. So I went ahead and kind of played up slightly less natural look, a little bit more glam. And yes, I used black gouache to add in the blacks of the eyes, and then I added in some highlights or eye catches with white acrylic paint, or maybe it was white gouache. Probably white gouache from the looks of it. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done the actual face up. Then I added in some shadows above, just below that where the eyeliner is, because we all have a little bit of a shadow at the top of our eye, because we have a lid there and we have eyelashes. Okay, well, Wednesday is done for the moment, so let's do Enid. Unfortunately, I've already blushed her body and I did her lips, but my first try on her eyes I wasn't liking, and I chose not to show that here because this video is already running a little long. So we're just going to show you how Face Up 2 went, and I like how Face Up 2 came out much better. I did have a picture of her off to my left as I was working. I mean, I know you can't see it right now, but you'll see a little hint of it later when you see my cell phone off to stage left, so to speak. Because she has light blue eyes, well, light blue doesn't always look blue. Sometimes it looks gray, and hers look more gray than blue. So I chose to start off with gray as my start for the iris, with my start base color. I used pink for her waterline, because she is paler and more fair than Wednesday is. Wednesday looks more tan to me. But then again, she has darker skinned parents, so that makes sense. And I think that the actress is darker skinned herself, and I think she's fat. Anyway, so I decided we're going to do multiple colors in her eyeshadow. I went with gold, I went with pinks and blues, and a hint of purple, I think, too. I just kind of wanted to give her more of a rainbow look, like she tried to give Wednesday, or like she gives herself when she does her makeup in the show. So then I started off with a dark brown for her eyeliner. I added in a little bit of blue highlights. I'm not sure if they really showed. I tried to experiment a little bit so that they would appear a little blue but not be fully blue. And I am so sorry, we had clouds this day, and my editing software has changed and it no longer has color correct. I mean, it has color correct, but it doesn't have something that I could drop in that just says color correct and it just does it. I'm not sure what I'm going to end up using in the future, so we'll see. I may end up exploring other softwares. And well, after another round of super clear, we went ahead and went back in, tried to get some more of that gray to pop. Went with a darker gray for the outer rim of her irises, because she does have a slightly darker outline, as most of us do. And sorry about my camera slipping. I fixed it. This happens sometimes when I'm using the my box that I use for filming face-ups. It sometimes slips as I work. So I started off with a brown for her eyebrow, and then I realized that it looks darker than what I used, so I went back over it after I was happy with the shade. Then I did the same for the other side. And there's, you can see there's my phone off to the left. I added her pupils. And I tried adding in more highlights because lighter eyes show more detail, usually. Darker eyes like Wednesday's, there's not a whole lot of detail that's going to pop. It's really hard to get that in. I mean, if anybody has any suggestions on how I could do that better, please feel free to drop a comment. I would love to read it. And I do read all of your comments. And now I think I went in with the black to do her eyeliner again, just to make it darker, because I think the brown just wasn't showing up as well, and I wanted it to be darker than that. And then I, for some reason, thought I was going to try to put in a little green in this. And no, I don't think it showed up at all. I'm not seeing it. And I tried with the blue again. Well, at this point, I realized if I wanted any detail to show, I was going to have to put in some white. I was going to have to do it with white, and I think I was using a gouache for this, because I was able to get really nice teeny tiny lines with the gouache. I mean, I can get really teeny tiny lines with acrylic too. It's just, you gotta use the right kind of acrylic. It has to be really thin. You have to pick up like finite amounts. And then I went in and brightened what needed to be brightened. Went over details one last time. Added some highlights. And then I guess I decided I was going to go in with some gouache for her eyeliner. Oh, there's that cloud again. It was a very nice day, but we had a lot of clouds passing by, and every time it did, I guess it affected the lighting, and I didn't realize it. Because I can't, when I'm doing this, my camera's above my head, and I can't see my screen. Okay, and then I added some highlights into the eyebrows and other places that I felt needed it. Just teeny tiny little bits. All of it does add up, and it really does make a beautiful result. Finally, I added the catch lights. And they're done. Well, except for varnish. We need some varnish to gloss these girls up. They need a little glitz, a little shine. So we did the lips and the eyes for both. And as I was doing Enid, I realized some of her nails needed a little bit of a touch-up, and I had intended to do more, but a lot of my paints have dried out. What's a girl to do? I don't want to pull out the Mr. Super Clear again. So I went in with what I had for acrylic after I did Wednesday's gloss job. So a couple of nails that really were showing wear and tear, like the white, the off-white, or the pink and the purple, I went ahead and touched up. And I did have those colors, luckily, and they were fine. After everything was dry and glossed, I went ahead and finally put on their 3D eyelashes. You might have noticed I didn't draw in upper eyelashes. And, well, it's because I was putting in 3D lashes because this is for my cousin, and I really want to give her my best work. Well, I always like to give my best work, but sometimes it's easier if I don't. After that, we got dressed. Here they are. And well, I'm super happy with how they came out. I'm hoping that you all enjoyed it too. Girls, shall we just show them what I was talking about earlier? And why we're sitting down? Yep, this is why we're sitting down. I can't stand right now. I can now, but when I film this, not so much. My knee is sprained. But I hope you all had a great day. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you had it, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Please share. Have a great day. What will you create today? Bye.